assets, opportunities even, that you may lose.
You must ask yourself if you love the people, because the only thing that can bind you to the people you serve is love. Ambition is not enough.
I have discovered the power of kindness, and that has made me a radical optimist. That's why I stay away from politics and from religion.
Countries that take unilateral action or coercive action
actually like Pinoy personally.
It's not a beauty contest who's ahead of who, but to...
Once upon a time, we were all irrelevant. And I sincerely believe that there will come a time we will all return to the dark embrace of irrelevance.
Martin's Man Cave.
Si Corpus naman unang rebel soldier. Bakit hindi natin tanggapin ulit pabalik sa armed forces. Not necessarily using armed struggle. Kasi yung experience ko sa armed struggle, ang daming nagbuwis ng buhay. Nakalimutan na yung death sentence namin. Dahil patay na si Ninoy.
Martin's Man Cave is back, still with former AFP General Victor Corpus. What happened between 1976 until 1987?
Nag-surrender ako noong 1976. I was detained together with my wife dahil nauna nang nakadetain yung wife ko ng 3 years doon sa Military Security Unit or MSU ng Philippine Army. That's the parang doon detainees like Ninoy Aquino, like Dante Buscaino, like John Masison. So doon ako sinama. Pinagsama kami nung misis ko. We were tried by the military tribunal, Military Commission number 1, and was eventually sentenced to death by musketry.
Sino-sino kayo?
Ang kasama kong na-sentenced to death is Ninoy Aquino and Bernabe Buscaino, alias Commander Dante.
Tatlo kayo? Kasama yung asawa nyo?
Hindi.
Tatlo lang
kami. Nagkasakit si Ninoy, pinagamot sa Amerika. Eh nung gusto na niyang bumalik, sinasabihan siya, wag nang bumalik. Diyan ka na lang. But he was insistent. In my opinion, they do not want him to come back dahil if there will be an election and Ninoy runs, he might win the election and balikan naman sila. Yan ang aking analysis na kaya ayaw nila pabalikin si Ninoy. But when Ninoy insisted on coming back, the Supreme Court at the time, headed by Justice Fernando, affirmed our death sentence. That was 1 week before Ninoy Aquino returned. Siguro to convince him to
Not to return.
or else
He'll be shot.
You will be shot legally. Legal. So, kinabahan ako noon dahil sabi ko, naku, mukhang they will get rid of Ninoy the legal way. Damay kami doon.
Hindi Buscaino.
Di ba? So, doon talaga ako kinabahan dahil mukhang ito yung plano. And palagay ko, kung ganun ang nangyari, hindi nagyari yung EDSA. Dahil may legal basis eh. Although, alam natin na lutong Macau yung trial. But, siguro, may ibang mga nagplano na tinira na lang siya sa tarmac. So, nangyari yung EDSA. Nakalimutan na yung death sentence namin. Dahil patay na si Ninoy. And after the EDSA, pinawalan na kami. Tapos nag-party yung RAM sa bahay na sabi nila na, si Corpus naman ng unang rebel soldier. Bakit hindi natin tanggapin uli pabalik sa armed forces? So gumawa ng petition yung mga classmates ko to Cory, addressed to President Cory to accept me back in the service. Tinanggap naman, but after that, nagkaroon ng mga series of coup d'etat. Na-involve ako doon dahil inimbita ko doon sa special study group that is headed by Gringo Onasan doon sa SND. Pero hindi ako sumang-ayon doon sa kanilang planong maglunsad ng coup laban kay Cory. Got out of that group, informed Ramos doon at saka si De Villa, the chief of staff, about the plan. We opposed yung God Save the Queen. Napalaban uli ako dun sa grupo ng RAM. Because of that.
So fast forward. You retired as the ISAP chief under President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo. And looking back to what happened to your life, you opposed the government, you went back to government, and in the process you were given the amnesty by Cory Aquino. You were able to go back to service, and you retired as an AFP general, brigadier general.
Brigadier General.
Napakaswerte niyo po dahil at the same time you were able to extensively study abroad. You were able to go to Harvard University and take up your master's in public administration and write your books. Ano po yung mga natutunan nyo during the past decades na masasabi nyo ngayon na sana itong chapter ng buhay na to hindi na nangyari to? Or meron bang chapter sa buhay nyo na kung ulitin lang, hindi nyo gagawin? Yung chapter lang na yun.
Yung overall, yung lesson na natutunan ko sa aking mga experience. Kung gusto natin ng tunay na pagbabago, pwede natin makamit itong mga necessary reforms sa society. Not necessarily using armed struggle. Kasi yung experience ko sa armed struggle, ang daming nagbuwis ng buhay. Ang daming mga kasama na very sincere, very capable. Meron pa dyan mga magna cum laude, mga cum laude sa UP, sa mga matataas na kwan. Pero nasayang yung kanilang kinabukasan, nasayang yung mga buhay. Pero anong nakamit? Wala pa rin pagbabago, wala pa rin pag-unlad yung ating bayan. Ganun pa rin ang social inequality sa ating society. May mga paraan, palagay ko, makamit ang ating ninanasang pagbabago, hindi sa pamamaraan ng paggamit ng dahas. Katulad ng ginagawa namin ngayon sa renewable energy. Pagka naging tagumpay yung aming ginagawa, it will eventually change the face of Philippine society.
That renewable energy that you have, and just to give people a slight hint of what it is, that is one element in our Mother Earth that we can turn into energy that has not been used yet. So, abangan nila kung ano yun. Because we will discuss that project in another podcast called Bonfire Discussions. At the same time, busy rin kayo sa inyong sinusulat na military and economic and social theory about the West Philippine Sea, the
Yes.
South China Sea, and why
Yes.
China is doing this.
Yeah.
Can you give our audience just a slight synopsis?
Synopsis? Okay, yung nangyayari sa West Philippine Sea, yung issue na yan, is very critical, very pivotal to the future of this country. Sa ngayon, ang tingin ko, doon sa pag-handle ng mga issues sa West Philippine Sea, ay matinding kakulangan ng mas malayo at mas malawak na pananaw. Kung hindi natin makita yung lahat ng repercussions ng ating ginagawa at na magkamali tayo, mahirap ng mabago ng mga future generations yung magiging destiny ng ating bansa. Dapat mapag-aralan natin yung mga trends sa mundo. Ano ang trend sa Amerika? Ano ang trend sa China? Yung isa pabagsak, yung isa pataas. Baka ang makapitan natin yung pabagsak, lulubog tayo kasama ng pabagsak. Kung mali yung ating choice. At malalaman lang natin yan sa malalimang susuri nung mga kasulukuyang nangyayari sa ating mundo.
This is encapsulated in a journal, in an article, in a white paper that you wrote, the Heartland Theory, and you were able to elaborate the Heartland Theory. Tapos, i-explain din natin yan, pag-uusapan natin yan in another podcast discussion there in Bonfire Discussions. Lastly, sir, yung kamote, ganun pa rin. No? Siyam pa rin ang dun sa hasindero at isang kamote lang para sa uring manggagawa. Yung pinaglaban mo noong 1969 at noong 1970 kayo umanib sa mga komunista. Ngayon, ganun pa rin.
Hindi lang ngayon ganun pa rin, baka lumala pa yung social inequality. Katulad ng nangyari sa Amerika. Yung 1% enjoys everything. Yung 99% walang naiwan.
Thank you so much for your time, General Victor Corpus, and thank you so much for sharing your story, your life story, and Martin's Man Cave, the live cast here in podcast.ph. Sana po ay huwag kayong manawa sa amin, sir. Mabuhay po kayo.
Marami din salamat na naimbitahan ninyo ako dito, Martin. And mabuhay kayo.
And this is the 80th podcast of Martin's Man Cave. Maraming salamat. Thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see you in one of our platforms, either podcast.ph, Spreaker, Stitcher, Podomatic, and you can also download us on iTunes or YouTube or www.podcast.ph. Thank you.
This podcast.ph presentation is supported by Martin Andanar's Homecast Studio and Audio.ph.